Good morning there. You're watching QTV this morning, and I am Jenna Basonko. Seems my co-host here is a bit busy, you know, trying to look for some things here and there.
Every person you see, you're busy on your TikTok, you're busy on your TokTik, you're busy doing your thing. Every person is busy. You know, I think people are sick when it comes to mobile phones.
You know what I do?
We are sick.
When I'm in the UK, we have a big dining table. Seats about, depending on how many, 8 or 10 people. And when I have guests, I tell everybody to leave their phones whilst we're eating. Nobody
crazy.
is allowed
That's
to touch
good.
the phone till the meal is over.
The way we are hooked to our phones,
Yeah, it's disgusting.
It's serious. I mean,
It is.
it just happened to me last week. I was sitting with my last boy, the 1 and a 6-year-old boy. I was on my phone, and he was just playing around me. I mean, playing around. But later I felt guilty. I mean, this is my son playing around.
Trying to get your
trying
attention.
to get my attention.
Quality
And I'm
time
still
with-
on my phone.
He wants quality time with dad, and dad is
You
busy.
know,
That is
it's-
busy.
It's,
TikToking.
it's unfair.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. It is. It
Yeah,
is.
so we are back
But I
again.
think it's just where we find ourselves, the age of the day. You know, things are changing.
You know, I hear this, and it can be if you want it to be. I mean, there are times when I've come to work and I've forgotten my phone, and everybody panics except me.
If
You
I
know,
forget my phone, I'm gonna rush back home.
But you
and
know
start
my
it.
phrase, nobody's going to die just
Yeah.
because I left my phone at home. So, yeah, I don't get it's like there was a time for 3.5 years I was off Facebook and Twitter. And, you know, I lived. You know,
Yeah,
I didn't die.
personally, I've not been very consistent lately on Facebook, on Twitter, or even on Instagram.
Okay.
Because currently it's too toxic. Like,
Right. No,
it's
since
just-
I came back on, I've been quite active
Yeah.
on both Twitter
Yeah.
and Facebook.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right now I'm not like you because there's nothing interesting to
it-
point out.
It's very difficult to live without your mobile phone or other appliances. It's very difficult.
How
I
do you
mean,
think the world survived before mobile phones?
Well, that
do you
is
think the world
before.
didn't exist?
Yeah,
that-
but we
that-
were
no,
born
that
into
is,
it.
That is before.
No,
But now it has
it becomes
changed.
impossible if you make it impossible to live without it.
Yeah, but people like
But
us,
this-
The
Mr.
world
Ade,
survived.
like at the time that we were born, there's already SIM card,
Well,
you know, not immediately, but when we grew already, there's SIM card, there's mobile phone.
yes. I mean,
Already, like we were born.
Yeah.
So sometimes my mind goes to the generation that is coming. I mean, you know, we are born when there were no mobile phones. Then later, you know, mobile
But
phones.
Ibrahim, come on, you can manage it because when you were going to school,
into
you guys
existence.
didn't have mobile phones. But when I was
Yes.
going to school, we had phones.
Exactly.
So
during
you
my,
can manage.
During my days, I mean, my school days, there was no mobile
So
phone.
you
I
can
think
manage.
we make good use of the home lines all the time.
And
you know.
and you memorize
But
everybody's number.
in the early 2000s, 2001 to 2002,
Sure.
you know,
You know
mobile
what's
phones
funny,
started
Mr.
coming.
Ade?
You understand?
So when people liked each other at the time, how did they communicate?
When they what?
When people liked each other,
Like you see somebody.
We
you
have
like them.
letters.
yeah, how did they
We have
communicate?
letters. I
That's
mean,
what mouths
we
are
were
for.
the
You
pe-
speak to
listen,
them.
we
Oh, you telephone them
we
on
were
their,
the people
on
that-
their home phone.
Well, it's not fun at all. You
Jay,
can't chat,
have
you
you
can't
have you
text.
have you ever done the yes or no service?
Yes or no?
We
no.
were the
Man-
people that
madam-
invented the yes or no service. You just write a note, give it to one of your colleagues. Please take it for her.
And then she
And
says,
give it to her.
And then she will
will
refer to
like,
the African
"Please."
proverb.
Mr. Ade,
Underline yes
Mr.
or
Ade,
no.
you know what's funny? I used to have a lot of letters.
Yeah.
I used to have a lot of letters, like in school.
Oh, right.
Because it used to be like letters.
Right.
You know, they write letters and tell you.
And now
a
people
friend
text.
gets you the letter, and then you get to reply back. You feel like.
Yeah, yeah. You
Yes.
know, my dad said to me, it was very difficult during their time. Last week I was with my dad. I said, Dad, look, I mean, things have changed now.
Yes.
I said, Dad, I mean, you know, now you send someone an email now. He receives now and reply now.
Yes.
My dad said before they send an email, they'll have to go to Basse Gamtel
Yeah.
to send a message.
Yeah.
And before the person gets the message, like before the person gets the letter, it's 3 months. Before it comes back to them, it's 3 months. Phone call. Someone will leave from here to Kololi and call you. Jenaba, danga am call QCell Kairaba Avenue.
Yeah, yeah.
And
yeah.
Jenaba will rush to QCell Kairaba Avenue to sit and wait for the call. Someone, maybe your son will
Yes,
call you
yeah,
from
yes.
Europe,
And it's
you
just-
receive.
Yeah.
You understand?
I
So
grew
it
up
was
with
very
that.
difficult.
Yeah.
And
I went to
also,
Angola.
this actually takes my mind to how also like countries' representatives, as in ambassadors, used to behave at that time, because traveling was difficult. Letters takes months to reach. So ambassadors in different countries used to have so much power to make decisions on their own because they can't communicate back to their presidents or their country representatives.
They could. They phoned.
know?
But they have fax
Telephones
before.
have been-
There were
Yeah,
fax
but-
machines.
Telephones and then fax.
They were more powerful at the time than now, where you will get a directive where it's easy to travel
The
the next day and get
bureaucracy.
where you want to get, or a mobile phone to be able to
Yeah,
communicate.
I mean,
that did exist.
travel has been made easy for over 50 years. You know, jumping on a plane.
Yeah.
It's not been a problem for at least 50 or 60 years. So, yeah, I mean, your president would call you and he will tell you, tomorrow at 8 o'clock I'll be calling you. You better be at your office.
Yeah.
And you'll be there or you'll be sacked.
Well,
So-
Mr. Ade, I think it was easy to travel before.
Yeah.
I mean, from around 1991, you don't need a UK visa for the Gambia. All that you need is certain documents and your passport. Buy your ticket and go off. You know, so it's not difficult. But now recently things are very difficult.
COVID has complicated matters apart from anything else.
You know,
Yes.
so it was totally different.
Yeah.
During our time, no mobile phone, no
Mr.
internet.
Ade said something
We-
so funny.
we
I'm
were-
like, if you like somebody, how do you tell the person? So use your mouth.
You speak to them.
Not everybody.
Not everybody.
We were all
Mr.
not
Ade,
brave.
Let's be honest. Some
Not
people are
everybody.
not brave. They can't just tell a woman, "Oh, I like you."
There was
or
a
something.
friend of
No,
mine, like,
I-
we will
I
push him
understand
like
that.
this. We will, boy, please tell her.
No, it's,
Come on, tell her. Tell her.
I can relate to that because I used to be quite shy.
Really?
when I was
So how
young.
did you manage?
My father sat me down one day and he said, "Look, you know, unless you are brave enough to speak to these girls, they won't know that you like them," which was quite something because most of my friends, their fathers never had that conversation with them. And and this is a true story. There was a girl I really liked, but I was always scared to speak to her. And then, I was invited to a party.
Yeah.
I decided not to go. Whilst I was waiting and just watching TV,
Yeah.
she actually came to our house
Oh my.
because she mistook the turning
Okay.
and she came to the wrong house.
And your heart was jumping.
My
And
heart
you
was
were
pumping.
sweaty, and your hands were all sweaty.
I was probably everywhere was sweaty.
Oh my God.
And you know, and she said, "Oh, is this the party for the Okorokol family?" I said, "No, they live. You have to go out and again." But by
can
then the taxi had
Yeah.
dropped
With
her
your
off.
voice, you are saying
Yeah.
it.
So I said to her,
I
I
can
said,
walk.
"You know what? Let me get change and I'll take you there because I'm going to the bar." I wasn't going to go.
But all of a
But
sudden.
all of a sudden I was going to go. And so on that journey, her name was Victoria,
Okay.
we chatted.
Oh,
Okay, flipping things.
And that was just luck. It was sheer luck.
Yeah.
And so, but that kind of helped me get over the shyness. Just that walk.
Yeah.
It's like a 10-minute walk to the house where the party was. We chatted and so on. And I thought, as we were going, I thought, this isn't that difficult.
It's not difficult.
You know, but and that was kind of the day when the kind of fear evaporated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but
it was
But you know,
just
Mr.
luck. It
Ade,
was
like,
just
we
sheer
do
luck.
not accept just like that. You know, when somebody wants to talk to us, we have to like, oh, let me think about it.
Trust,
you
we're
know,
spoiling
later.
we're spoiling
Well,
the
it's-
African
it's-
proverb
it's
because
different.
trust me, this
it's the
It's
best
proverb.
appropriate.
it generates so much.
Tell me about the proverb. What's the proverb?
Let's go straight to the proverb.
Okay.
It reads, when a girl does not love you, she calls you a brother.
Uncle.
When a girl does not love you, she calls you a brother.
Oh, uncle.
Yo,
And then they will say, I'm not your uncle.
yo, small
I'm
makla.
not your uncle.
Makla la tiye.
You know,
Big
us men,
disappointment.
you know, in still in Africa that, you know, men tend to do the chasing, you know, after, you know, it's in the West, it's kind of changed. Women chase men as much as men chase women, you know, when you see somebody you like. So, yes, she either calls you brother or worse than that, she said, you know, you really like her. And she said, well, let's just be friends. That's the worst
Yeah,
phrase any man can hear.
think-
Oh my God.
It's like, you know,
think
you're
even
just crushed.
calling you a brother is better. I mean, at some point, if she asks you, what's your name? You said, I'm Ibrahim. I say, oh, my father is Ibrahim. Then you're my dad.
But you know what? In the early days, the early days of mobile phones, you know what girls used to do if they
Yeah.
didn't like you? They'd give you the wrong phone number.
Okay, and you keep on dialing it.
and it's like
Nothing.
somebody else is picking up and like, who are you? Like, oh, we met at the party. What? I don't go to parties, you know. And yeah, but yeah, they call you brother, and that's like, that's crushing.
That's hard.
Because
But I've
you
done that
don't
before.
want them to be your sister. You
Yeah.
want them to be your lover, or, you know,
But
your
I've done
prospective
this
wife
before
or something.
several
Better
times.
have.
Or call you uncle.
people-
like
yeah.
if I know you're older, I'll be like, oh, you're small uncle, you're like an uncle to me.
Yeah, yeah,
or if
yeah.
you're a brother, oh, can we just be friends? Or be, and then they will start
And
getting angry. All of a sudden, when you call them brother or uncle, they get angry.
No,
They're, like,
and they
so
shouldn't.
angry.
They shouldn't. You know, because for us men, we should be used to it. It's you know, like I said, in the nature of the kind of African context, in most African countries, it's the men who do that. So over time, you get used to, you harden yourself. And what you don't let is, you don't let the woman know that the depth of your disappointment. You say, oh, really? You know, rather than you thinking, oh, really?
Yeah.
You know, so.
But Mr. Ade, you know what's difficult? In Gambia here, women cannot approach men. Because you know how Gambian men can be. Like when women approach them, next minute, you know, they start, oh, like, it's not normalized for women to approach a man.
Okay, so all these women who've approached me is because they think I'm not Gambian, right?
Yes,
Ah,
because then you will accept it if they approach you. So, Mr. Ade, oh, you've been approached before. Okay.
Hey!
Chai.
Chai.
So you mean you've been chased by women? Yeah. No,
Yes.
we
Yes.
just try to
Truth
clarify things
is,
here.
Mr. Ade, truth is, the reason why that's happening is because they know you're not Gambian. It's not normalized here for a woman to go to a man and tell them, hey, I want to marry you. Hey, I want to be with you. It's not okay in Gambia here for a woman to do that.
Yeah.
But I think when you look at it, I mean, it's just a matter of ignorance. I mean, some people don't understand. I mean, it's normal for a lady to show her feeling. I mean, towards a guy. I mean, a
but
guy too can do the same thing.
Yeah, but it's in a lot of societies, it's kind of frowned upon, and
It is
women
frowned
find
upon.
it very, very hard because it's not the norm.
It's not.
It's stepping outside of the norms of that society for the woman to approach
A man.
the man. So they find it very difficult. And like I said, you know, if imagine a woman approaches you and then you tell her, oh, I don't
want you.
You know,
Let's be honest.
because, like I said, for us, we kind of grow up, it's almost in the male DNA that you're going to get rejected.
And it's okay,
and
it's
and
accepted.
it's accepted
Yeah,
because
but in
you're
Gambia,
kind of
yeah.
used to it. But for a woman, that's kind of unusual, because for her to have even taken that step would have been really brave.
Yeah, and
because it's so unusual.
Mr. Ade, so the tip is that you can shoot your shots. How you shoot your shot as women is, you know, you don't need to tell the person directly.
You know, people
You
used
don't
to
need
say,
to tell the man directly. There are just certain steps you need to take, and
Oh,
then
you
things
mean
will come into
there,
place.
there are tricks
There are
that you
tips and
can, you can,
tricks.
you
Listen.
can play?
The moment you put up those tips and tricks, things will work out.
you know, some men talk about chat-up lines, and you know, what's your chat-up line? And you know, some people ask me, well, you know, do you have a chat-up line? I say, yes, it is. They say, what is it? And I say, I usually just say hello. That's
You're-
it.
You're beautiful.
No, no,
When
no,
I look
no,
at your
no, no, no,
eyes-
no. You just say hello.
When I look at your eyes, I've seen
Your
all
eyes
the
are like
beauty.
stars. You
No,
don't need
I
all
don't
that
do
jazz.
those.
You
No,
don't
I
need
don't
all
do
that
that.
jazz.
And Mr. Ade, you
Just
know
say
what I
hello.
hate the
Just
most?
say hello.
Someone telling me, tell me about you.
I want to know about you. Tell me about you.
Oh Lord.
Well, people use that all the time.
I hate that. When
Yeah.
somebody tells me, okay, so tell me about you. What's your favorite color? I'm like, hey, man up.
Mine is-
Excuse me?
Mine is pink.
No, I don't do those.
Yeah, exactly. Because if
I
you
love
say, if
pink
it
color.
says yellow, he'll say, and say it's mine as well.
Let's be honest. Wow, we
share
have the
the
same
same
color.
Orange. Come on. Why do I love
Or
orange?
you tell them your name, and they say, oh, that's such a beautiful name.
I have an auntie.
You know.
My favorite auntie.
I just don't
But
like
you know,
it.
sometimes
Tell me about you.
know, sometimes it's strange, because sometimes there's a young lady who we're really good friends now, and
Yeah.
we're just friends. But you know, I used to see her all the time at
Yeah.
all these events
Yeah.
at in London, and you know, a lot of these events I would be the MC. You know, I'd see her in the audience, and you know, sometimes I'd see her smile at me, and then one day I just went up to her and I said, you know what? I said, I've seen you about 100 times. I said, because I'm always getting announced, you probably know my name. I said, but if you don't, my name's Ade.
Yeah.
I said, what's yours? You know, and that's how we started chatting, and we became friends, and we're really good friends now.
All right.
You know, about 10 years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
So is there
So
any,
yeah, that's it.
is there any point friendship turns to
relationship.
Yes.
It happens.
It happens.
It happens.
It happens.
It happens.
Many a times.
It happens. I don't
Yeah.
want to go into
But the
stuff.
issue of
It happens.
what is your favorite color? Tell me about you. Bala bala.
But Jennifer,
I beg. We are
listen, at the beginning,
At which beginning?
this guy doesn't know about it.
Don't learn about me. Don't ask me to
But-
tell me about you.
But how would he learn about you?
We're friends.
With-
we are
with
talking,
this,
Mr.
you know.
Ade. We are talking. What is tell
But
me
you
about
see,
you?
yeah, because you see, sometimes people think that there's not enough time in the world. You know, for example, my fiance, who's still stuck in the UK, we met on my birthday,
Okay.
and she'd been invited by my cousin. My cousin had been trying to get us to meet for
Yeah.
3 years,
Yeah.
and I kept saying, I'm not interested. You know,
Yeah.
I was divorced by
Yeah.
then. I wasn't interested.
Yeah.
And then, it's funny enough, Gambia
Yeah.
was the thing that made us start
You
talking.
have in common, yeah.
Because I had just come back from the Gambia visit, and so I said, oh, I had a fantastic time in Gambia. And
Yeah.
she said, oh, I lived there for 3 years. I used to teach.
Yeah.
And then I said, oh, you must be Judith,
Yeah,
that they'd been trying to get me to meet.
yeah.
You know, and that was how we started chatting. And even though it was my own party, and I love music, I love dancing, usually when I go to a party, I
Yeah.
dance till the last record.
But you couldn't.
We just sat on the stairs and chatted till morning.
Yeah.
You know, and that was the day we,
That was
we
the-
became a couple.
Okay.
I did for enjoy life.
Dafa enjoy like
I did- I did- no. No, I like that. I like that. That's Adi. And you know one thing I love about Adi, he is very open.
No, you have to
And
be
he's very
open-minded.
free.
You have to be
I mean, it's
open-minded.
difficult to chat with some
Yeah.
people about
But
it.
by the way, the issue of what's your favorite color,
Yeah.
tell me about you, please. It's old. Just put it aside.
Well,
Come up with something
anybody
new.
watching now.
Bring something new
Then
for us.
Bring some new lyrics.
Women stop,
Something.
let women stop asking men, where do you work? What do you do?
Or
Me,
do you
I'll
have-
ask
they,
you
they're
what
trying
you
to
do.
find out. It's a clever
I'll-
way of saying, do you have a job?
Do you have?
If they
Mr.
say,
Ade,
what
but
do
for
you
me,
do?
I'll ask you what you do.
What is your
It's better
profession?
you go do something.
I'm a bumpster.
If you call me, I'll tell you my profession.
Do
I'm
you
a
think if
gardener.
somebody is a bumpster, they're
In
going
fact,
to say,
I'll
I'm a
dash you
bumpster?
my bank account.
I'm a gardener.
Let's go for a short break. I'll dash you my bank account, Steph. Let's go for a short break. When we come back, the conversation continues.
Check out the all-new Tigo 8 at S-Pass Motors. Call 3522-222 or 353-2222 for more information.
Cherry